What's going on, guys? This is Redline here, bringing you guys another Outriders build video. This is based off of the Technomancer's Torrential Downpour legendary set. Um, I'm pretty sure if y'all been checking the Outriders YouTube videos that there's a million blighted round videos out there. You know, CT15 in-game blighted rounds builds. Like, it's plenty of them out there. I wanted to create a build that was different from that and that was fun and can get the job done. And I think this is the build, man. Like I said, I really enjoy running it. It can go. You can pretty much go like some CT15 expeditions. The ones that have like kind of like a more forgiving timer on it, like marshlands or archways. Expeditions like that. Um, of course, well, as you can see, of course, it requires obviously it requires legendaries. You're pretty tanky in this build as well, and you do really good great boss damage and DPS. So first off, let's get into the skills, man. The skills that you're going to be using with this build is Scrapnel, Tool of Destruction, the rocket launcher, and the blighted turret. You will not be using the minigun. The minigun needs work. Now I ain't gonna say it needs work. It needs a buff. Minigun needs a buff or a mod that can buff it. One or the other. But Shrapnel throw, proximity mine. The explosion deals 241,530 damage. That's the initial explosion itself, and interrupts the skills of enemies caught within the blast radius. It's an ordnance and it's an interrupt skill. Tool of Destruction. Press the skill button to equip a rocket launcher that can interrupt enemies and deal 137,157 damage. Hold the skill button for a minigun that deals 9,682 damage per shot. Like I said, we won't be using the minigun. The skill will remain active until all ammo is depleted or until you switch weapons. It is also an ordnance and an interrupt skill. In the blighted turret, place an automated turret that deals 8,069 damage and inflicts toxic onto enemies. The turret health depletes slowly over time and when it takes damage. It's a decay and turret type of skill. So let's get into the class points. I'm using the bottom tree Demolisher. Anomaly Fuel increases your anomaly power by 6%. Ordnance Technician reduce ordnance skills cooldown by 15%. Anomaly Fuel increase anomaly power by 6%. Anita Plates increase resistance by 20%. Another anomaly fuel. And I also went up here to wipe out enemies below 30% health receive 20% more damage. That's going to come in handy, especially when it comes to the elites and the bosses. Uh, Below I went adrenalizing antenna, activating decay skills, increases anomaly power for you and your allies for 30% for 10 seconds. So you're gonna always be activating this. And then Ordnance Technician, reduce Ordnance skills cooldown by 15%. And then I went Toxicologist, toxic afflicted on enemies last 30% longer. Anomaly Fuel, anomaly power 6%. And I went down here to Heavy Absorption. Activating Ordnance skills increases skill leech for 15% for 7 seconds. This is why you're going to be so tanky. This is one of the reasons why you're going to be real tanky in this build. Another anomaly fuel node, DK Toxic, increase toxic damage by 20%. That's to help out with your blighted turret. Increase your resistance piercing by 15%. Then I got Vitality Magnet, increase your skill leech by 6%. Another anomaly fuel. And then I went to Armor Unit, activating ordnance skills, increases your armor by 50% for 15 seconds. So again, you're going to be, like I said, it's going to help with your survivability and your tankiness. Team Player decreases the least damage against you and your allies by 10%. And another anomaly fuel. And then Tech Bond, activating ordnance skills, increases anomaly power by 50% for 10 seconds. You're going to be always activating this. So you pretty much gonna be having up at least 80% of anomaly, but like extra anomaly power at all times, pretty much. Start out with the weapons. I'm using the Death Shield with Fortress and Shadow Comment. Fortress is there to, of course, to have the extra 43% damage bonus based on my armor, and then the Shadow Comment just does so much damage, and it helps a lot with ad clears. You're gonna see that as you use this build. And I'm using Funeral Pyre with Shadow Comment and Fortress as well for the same reasons. I got Torment and Agony for my sidearm, but I mean you're not really gonna be using this, but I got Moaning Wiz on it to do that extra damage for reloading. But I mean I really don't use it anyway. So let's start out with the legendary set bonus. Shrapnel creates additional cluster bombs after the explosion, each dealing 121,989 anomaly power scale damage. So the 121,989 damage, that's off of the cluster bombs. That's not the actual shrapnel. The shrapnel was the 241k damage that it does when it blows up. The cluster bombs that come out of it is going to do 121,989 damage. So the first piece, I put supplies on it. Shrapnel, one additional mine can be thrown before triggering a cooldown. And then more traps. Shrapnel, one additional mine can be triggered before a cooldown. The chest piece, trap cluster, doubles the number of mines that can be thrown before triggering a cooldown. This mod is a key to the build. Like you have to use this. You have to use this. You have to use that mod, trap cluster. It's not gonna work without it. Fine tune. Shrapnel increases the detection and explosion radius by 33%. Then I have the pants. I switched the top mod out for damage absorber for survivability. Increase your armor by 52,659 and resistance by 10%. And then more damage. Shrapnel mod increases the skills damage by 119,540. So the damage is added on, but it doesn't show within the skill when you look at the skills. The damage is the add-on damage is not shown when you look at the skills. So I have the gloves next. Bang for your buck, tool of destruction. Activating the skill grants 100% base ammo increase for the selected tool. So pretty much you get double the amount of ammo when anytime you pull out the minigun or the rocket launcher, which gives you a total with the rocket launcher. It gives you a total of eight rockets that you can use. And then I also wrote on Captain Hunter, increases your damage against at least by 25%. You don't have to use Captain Hunter. You can also use power assimilation if you want. I like the flat 25% damage, me personally. The boots or shoes, I have Demolition Man, Tool of Destruction. Each rocket deals 113,079 more damage. And then I have Untamed Power, which is going to really, really come in handy. And I think this is also a guaranteed mod that you need to have. Using skills deal 48,408 damage to enemies within a 5-meter radius around you. The damage is equal to 30% of your anomaly power. So as you're going to be throwing those shrapnels, just say if you happen to stand in one place or you get in a crowd, you happen to get into a crowd. As you throw your shrapnels, this Untamed Power is going to be proccing. Each time you throw a shrapnel, it's going to proc. So you throw 6 shrapnels, the Untamed Power is going to proc 6 times. So 6 times 48,408, and that's how much damage you've done, like to the surrounding enemies that has crowded you. You want to with the purple pieces, whichever pieces you initially want to get anomaly power, status. Well, not well. You don't have to have status power, but anomaly power and cooldown reduction. Because you have that on the rest of the pieces as well. At least anomaly power and cooldown reduction. So you want to try to get that on your purple pieces as well. A couple honorable mentions as far as the mods. If you don't want to do damage absorber, you can easily go for a different survivability mod, or you can let's see. You could go for Radical therapy deal 15% more damage against enemies afflicted by the toxic. So anytime your turret, inflicts toxic on an enemy, they'll end up doing extra 15% more damage. Or you can use euthanizer with it, which is the tier 3 mod for the same thing, but it's 25% more damage instead of 15. Uh, you can also use the T3 mod, special delivery, with tools of destruction. Increase the rocket's blast explosion radius by 33%. I don't think it's needed, but I mean, if you want to use it to try to hit more enemies within crowds, from a bigger distance, that can help. Or you can use enriched anthrax. Increase the turret, your blighted turret's damage by 10,985. You're not really gonna be looking for your turret to take out enemies anyway, so I don't really think it's needed. But if you want your turret to do more damage, you could. What else? You could use not impressed, reduces the damage taken from elites by 25%. Power simulation boost your anomaly power by a certain amount for each elite present on the field. You can also use anomaly echo. You get a anomaly power and firepower boost anytime you use a skill. So just a couple honorable mentions in case you don't want to use damage absorber or even Captain Hunter. Those are the main two mods that I think that you can switch out. If you want, you also emergency stance. I had a lot of people talk about emergency stance, how it's bugged and whatnot, but yeah, you can use that if you want. So you have a little bit of wiggle room, but it's all up to you though. So let's get into some tips on the gameplay. Tip number one: the turret is your best friend. It's going to keep you alive, it's going to draw aggro, and it's going to help clear some of the ads. So before every encounter, the first thing you want to do is throw out your turret. And then you want to throw out your scrapnels. After you do that, that's going to ensure that you're going to be safe running into a group of enemies. And with the spread of the gas, it's going to pretty much always be dealing damage and healing you. So as long as your turret is out, you don't have to worry about going down. And you can take heavy damage. You can get surrounded. If your health goes into the red and stays in the red, it's because your turret is not out. It has the shortest cooldown of all your skills, so it really shouldn't be no reason that you don't have your turret out. Tip number two: throw everything all the time. Your scrapnels are your damage dealers, so you want to spam those as much as possible to help clear out those crowds and to do boss damage. With the enemies on the field, they'll always activate. Try not to hold on to any scrapnels and have all 6 at your disposal at the same time. Positioning also helps a lot. So when you catch enemies coming out from a spawn or something, you're able to throw it right at the spawn and take them out as they're rolling out. So make sure you spam your scrapnels as much as possible. And when you're out of scrapnels, use your rocket launcher. When you're out of rocket launcher, then you use your guns to help clear out the rest of those ads. And the best thing about the rocket launcher is that you're able to take advantage to do both. You can use the scrapnel and the rocket launcher at the same time. So you want to make sure you take full advantage of that. So in some expeditions, what I like to do with my scrapnel is pretty much set up my own DPS phase. So what I do is I go ahead and throw my scrapnel out where I know the boss or the brood mother is about to come out at, and I get myself set up during the time when I'm waiting for the next encounter, so I can just burst her down when she shows up. So I went ahead and set my scrapnel up. I threw my turret out, and now I'm waiting for her to show up, and you'll see the amount of damage that it's going to take. See, she's down. It took 2/3 of her health down, and I just burst her down with the rocket launcher after that. Threw more scrapnel, and then she was out before she was able to even touch me. Tip number 3: don't be afraid of the crowds. There's a reason you have untamed power on your build, because when you do get surrounded and you're able to spam those scrapnels, when the untamed power kick in for each scrapnel you throw, it's going to do a lot of damage to eliminate a lot of those enemies surrounding you. Not to mention if the shrapnel's hit, that's just extra damage. So when you run into it, when you be surrounded by a bunch of alphas or a bunch of those melee humans, all you got to do is start throwing your shrapnel, spam your shrapnels, and Untamed Power will kick in to do the damage, and it'll be over before you know it. Cause that's what a bunch of alphas tend to do. They tend to surround you and just attack you a lot. Well, like I said, as long as you got the turret out and you throwing your shrapnels, you'll be fine. So that's pretty much the build. Hopefully this video has motivated you guys to try to put this build together. Like I said before, this is a new, different way to play a techno and to complete expeditions. Obviously, it's not the fastest way to complete expeditions, but it is a different way to complete expeditions. It can complete gold. You can complete gold in CC14 on some expeditions, but obviously it struggles in others. So with that being said, I'm gonna leave you guys with some gameplay. It's pretty short. It's not gonna be a whole expedition. It's gonna be pretty much the first encounter on Frontline, just to showcase the build in action and to show how fun it is like from beginning to end. So like, comment, subscribe, and with that being said, man, Redline out.
Want me to raise your soldiers' morale? There's no one left.
Now you know the clusterfuck I'm dealing with. Artillery support incoming!